Alright guys, in this video, I'm going to be offering up a complete guide, A to Z on shipping your gecko. So that way, when it comes time, especially, your first one, you get as much information as possible to try to make it as least as stressful as possible. So I'm going to jump right into it. First things first is we need the supplies. So I did a voice recording over the screen recording. I don't know how the sound quality is though, so bear with it if it's terrible. But here we are, jumping right into buying the supplies.
Alright guys, so what I'm going to be showing you is reptiles2u.com for the supplies, because I know they're in stock with everything currently at the moment. So, come to their website, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom, and I see here the shipping supplies. Shipping kits I want to stay away from unless I'm absolutely only going to ship one gecko. Because they are a little bit more expensive, but it gives you everything you need for one animal. I'm going to come down here. Let's start with the boxes. If I'm going to be shipping a baby, basically 15-20 grams under, I'm going to use this 7x7x7. If I'm going to be shipping anything larger, up to an adult, I'm going to use this 9x9x9. But let's just go with the babies for now. Use the 7x7x7. I'm going to select 5, so that way, the gecko isn't going to lay one egg for the whole year. They're going to lay more than one, so I suggest getting more than one of everything. Just go with things of 5. That'll help out bring the cost down a little bit as well. The label pouches, I just put no label pouches. It's just basically a pouch for a label that you can stick onto the box, but in my opinion, it's not necessary. So I'm going to start off with 5 of these. Add that to my cart. Right, let's go back home. Shipping, or let's go to deli cups and lids next. So I'm going to go with pre-punch lids, so that way I have a lid with them. If I'm going to ship an adult, I'm going to be looking at the 6.75 inch diameter. If I'm going to be shipping a baby, I'm going to look at the 4.5 inch diameter. So let's go with that. I'll show you which one to go for the adult too. The semi-clear are less expensive, so I just go with those. It's only a matter of like $1, but whatever. And then I choose the 4.5 inch 12 ounce semi-clear deli cups with lids. I'm going to select 5 of those, add that to my cart. And then also, if I would go with the adults, I'm going with the 6.75 inch 32 ounce clear punch deli cups with lids. Alright, so we got the box, we got the lids. Now we need to make sure temperature wise everything is good. By the way, those boxes come with the insulation on the inside, the styrofoam and everything, so that's why it's important to get boxes through these instead of just using a normal cardboard box. But especially right now, I want to get my heat packs. This can be optional to you depending on where you're at. If your temperature is going to be, basically 70 to 80 degrees, then obviously you won't need a heat pack. If it's below that, a heat pack is going to basically contribute to about 10 to 15 degrees is what it says on the label, in temperature increase in a square foot. So just think of that, if it's a 70-degree day, I don't want an extra 15 degrees on top of that. So my suggestion is if I'm ordering 5, if I were you and I'm ordering 5 boxes and supplies of everything, I'm going to order 10 heat packs just because I have run into the situation where it was down to my last one. I go to open it, just like a hand warmer, you shake it up, and it didn't work. And that can obviously happen. You never know if there's a leak in the plastic at all in the packaging. It's going to ruin the heat pack. These are definitely more prone, in my experience, to being duds. You can get a whole batch that's a dud. It's happened to me. So my suggestion is to cover your butt is to order 10 of them, so that way you have extra ones in case one doesn't work and you aren't delaying the shipment. So I've got 10 of those. Then let's go back here. The other thing that's important is these Cryo Packs, the Phase 22. Basically, what these do here is they act as an insulator. It can also act as a cold pack. Okay, so if you need this for somewhere that's going to be above, closer to 80 degrees, above 80 degrees, throw this in a freezer before you pack it up, and it will be frozen and act as a cold pack. But what happens is above 70 degrees, it's in a liquid form. Below 70 degrees, it's actually in a solid form. So what that is going to do is I'm going to throw this in all of my shipments because it's going to help regulate the temperature on the inside to keep it as close to room temperature as possible. So extremely, extremely useful. They obviously are a little bit, a little over $5 each, but for peace of mind, for the safety of the animal, it's totally worth it. So I'm going to add that to my cart. I think I have everything now. Yes. So I've got everything. 5 boxes, 5 deli cups, 5 cryo packs, and 10 heat packs. And that comes out to $53.19. And typically, as honestly, after shipping and stuff, it's going to be about $70 to $80 for this. So also understand that there is a cost of this stuff, and understand as well, whenever you guys go to buy a gecko, think about these type of costs too that breeder has to use in order to make sure that the animal stays healthy and things like that. So just all part of the cost of, keeping safe, high quality animals. So I'm going to order those supplies and wait till they get in.
Alright, so perfect. We got the supplies. They just got here. Not really, but we'll just say that. Alright, I just got them. And I posted my gecko online. Hey, someone wants to buy it? Fantastic. Alright, they sent me the money. We're all good to go. First things first, what I need to gather is a little bit of information from them. What is their zip code? Okay, so once I find their zip code, I'm going to be able to look it up in I personally use Reptiles Express for, I find they have the best prices on the shipping labels. So I'm going to use that website, and I'm going to come here on their website, and it's going to say, all right, get your quote here. Let's just say, well, for real-time example, I'm going to use the shipping address for Peru, Illinois, because I am shipping out a package there. So I'm going to type in their zip code, type in my zip code. Since I'm going with the babies, it's going to be 7x7x7. And then I'm going to click on get my shipping quote, and it's going to pull it up from here. All right, so now I have an idea of the shipping price. I'm going to start off with that top number, but I'm going to keep in mind that second number as well, and I'll tell you why. So whenever I'm contacting, the customer, basically I'm always going to suggest getting it shipped to the hub and held at the location, so that way they can go pick it up and it's not on a delivery truck. Basically, holding at the hub creates a way more safer experience for that animal because it's less likely to create any delays. Most of the time when it gets to the hub, it's there before it even opens. So by the time they open, 9 a.m. or whatever time, it's already there and ready to get picked up. Whereas the other scenario is, say it is out on a delivery truck. Sometimes they're going to get delayed, traffic, the truck can break down, there's a million more things that can go wrong. And, they aren't inside in a building. It's out in a truck. If it's cold, if it's hot, there's a bunch of stuff going on. So it's always best to suggest to someone and try to have them go towards being okay with picking it up at the hub. The only thing is, where is a hub? Because there are many different FedEx shipping locations, not all will be able to hold live animals. So in order to figure that out, just hit book shipment. It'll ask you to log in or create an account. Just create an account and then go over to their side of things where you would plug in their address and everything. And at the top, click on the bubble that says FedEx Hub and type in their zip code. Then what it's going to do is it's going to give you a full list of different hubs that you'll be able to ship to, and always just use the closest one that it says on there, and then just confirm with the customer or whoever you're dealing with, hey, is this going to be the closest hub to you, and is it okay with you if it's not something that's next door? Are you okay driving to this location? And they say, yeah, that's all good, fantastic. So we're still gonna have all their info and everything, but this will be the actual address that we ship it to. Okay, fantastic. So we confirmed with them, hey, that hub is gonna be good to ship to. Great, good on them. It's gonna be safer for the animal, which is always a great thing. Next thing we need to do is figure out when we can actually ship this animal. So we're going to check in on the weather of my location and the location that I'm shipping it to. If it's their house, I'll check on a house zip code. If it's the hub, I'm going to use the hub zip code and just pull up the weather. Now, what I'm going to show you is what I'm looking at when considering when I'm shipping this one out. So it's my current weather and the current weather in Peru, Illinois. And the other thing too is when you're looking at this screenshot, it is saying today because it is currently 1 a.m. It is Tuesday, and this is the day that I'm going to be shipping out the Gecko. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at the time. So a couple things, because these are gargoyle geckos, and specifically for their temperature, ideally what they live at is between 70 to 80 degrees. So I want to figure out how I'm able to keep that temperature in that range. So what I'm gonna do is, if I'm gonna ship this animal, I want the low to be higher than 40 degrees or higher. It's okay if it's 39, 38, it's not gonna make or break. If you're shipping to a hub, that's the key. If you're shipping to a hub, if you're shipping out on a truck, I probably want the weather to be at least 50 degrees as the low. All right, it looks like in Peru, Illinois, the low is higher than 50 degrees. And let me check in on Pittsburgh. Now, what it says today, though, the low is going to be lower than 40 degrees. The thing is, though, when it comes to the highs and lows for weather, right, that's taking into consideration from 12 a.m. to 12 a.m. So just because right now, it's going to be below 40 degrees, it doesn't mean that 12 hours from now, it's still going to be below 40 degrees, right? Like I said, it's 1 a.m. right now. So whenever you look at these lows, you want to actually look at the hour by hour breakdown, because you'll actually see in this example that tomorrow or tonight's lows is actually over 40 degrees. It's getting, when you look at just the high and the low in a general, view, the low that it's getting it for the day for this 24 hours is actually currently right now. So when I'm looking at it that way, it's actually still really good to ship because of the low temperatures are all, when it's going to be actually out, at the FedEx hub, is going to be above 40 degrees. So great, looks like it's going to be a good day to ship the Gecko. So let's jump back onto Reptiles Express and finish creating that label. So down at the bottom of the page, it's actually going to ask you 3 things as required through this site for you to move on. It's going to ask you the quantity of animals, the common name of the animal, and the Latin name of the animal. They're doing this so that way you don't forget, because this is required. It's a law. You have to put this on the box if you're going to ship an animal. So it's very important to have this on here to prevent any type of issues and also to protect, you know, the hobby as well, and making sure that you're following the laws to a T. And I'll show you how, obviously, when I put the box together, how to do all this, but just make sure to plug that info right down there. All right, so I put everything together. You know, I moved on to the next screen. Now it's giving me the exact shipping quote. Now there's two things at the top here. This one is whenever you can use this when you're shipping to a hub, when you're shipping residential, any of that stuff. Then this is the reason I said to keep in mind those two numbers. There's a second one down here. That's means only a couple dollars less. However, if you're shipping to a hub, you can use this one right here. It will, whenever you create the label, don't get confused, and you go to track it, and it will say, you know, expected delivery is, you know, 4 p.m. It'll say something like that. That is not true. That it's estimating how long it will take to get to your house if you're in a residential area. However, they all go through the hub. So you can select this option if you're shipping to a hub. It will still get there at the same time. The only thing it does is it can save you and a customer a couple dollars in shipping costs. So if you're going to a hub, you can select that one. If you aren't going to hub, you have to select the other one. All right, so we put everything together. We have our label, but you want to print it out. And then next step is packing up the Gecko. So, like I said, it's currently 1 a.m. right now because I have nothing better to do on a Monday night, Tuesday morning than to make videos about geckos. So I will continue this video tomorrow when it is time to pack up the Gecko and show you how to properly insulate and do all that stuff. So I will see you then. Alright guys, so I actually started on this a little bit, but I'm just going to go back over what I was actually doing on here. So whenever you get your box, you know, it's just a flat piece of cardboard. Just shape it out. The bottom of the box, I put the two flaps going that way, the two flaps coming this way, and then the tape is in the pattern of an H. You know, I put this one down here, and then I put two pieces along here. Then on the inside, you want to slide your styrofoam inserts in there, and then what you want to do is you want to put a hole all the way through the styrofoam. I just have it on two sides. And guys, these boxes are not airtight, so if they come without holes, that's, you know, if you ever receive a shipment and it doesn't have a hole, that's okay. Same reason you have your cereal in a plastic bag. You know, cardboard boxes are not airtight, so there's still airflow, but just for peace of mind, I always just put two holes. You don't have to overdo it, and they don't have to be gigantic. Just two holes with just enough air. You don't want it to be too big where, you know, you let in all the cold or warm air that you're trying to protect the gecko from. So I got that in there. Now what you want, and sometimes I'll just, you know, save this stuff from past shipments. You can use, you know, if you guys ever get a bunch of like the coupons and stuff in the mail, you can use this stuff. But basically what you want to do, I put a little bit on the bottom here. I got my cup. This has nothing in it, but I just want to use it. Stick this in here. And basically, what I want it to be is where nothing is gonna, if it shakes around, right, that cup isn't moving around at all. So I wedged some below it, I wedged some on the sides there. Now, as you can see, that cup is sitting still. And I do this before I put the gecko in there, just so I have it, you know, all situated. And then all you need to do is, you know, just have some to put on top of it, because then you want a little layer of insulation for when you put your heat or cold packs in there as well. All right, now that I got my box, situated, still not done with it yet. Because I'm going to need this, right? These will take a second to get warm. Just make sure to follow the directions that's on there. Open it up, shake it gently, wrap it into newspaper, or I'll just use paper towels. I put a piece of tape around it, and then that way, you want to do this, like an hour before you actually end up sending it out, just so you know that it's getting warm. Like I said, there are duds. So, I'm gonna open this up. Give it a good shake, like you would a hand warmer. And also, part of the directions for these is you don't want to cover this side with the line. So you don't want to directly like put tape over it. It's okay if you have something like a paper towel, because the air's still getting through. But I don't want to put tape directly on this and completely encase the heat pack in there. So got it shaken up enough. I'm going to take a piece of paper towel, and then all I'm going to do is put this in the paper towel like this, and then I'm going to put a piece of tape going around it this way. And as you can see, it's still not covering that line. It's just there to hold the paper towel in place while it's warming up. So I'm going to set that aside and let it warm up in the meantime. On these sides, you have your common name. That's why I asked, because it will give you printouts that you can tape on here as well. I just write it on. You want to put the common name, the Latin name, and then the quantity of animals that you're shipping, and I write it on that side as well. So now that we have the box all put together, we're good to go on that. The next thing that we want to do is grab our Cryo Pack. If you're going to a hot area, you should have this in the freezer and then take it out when you're finishing packing up the box. But as you guys can see, I'm guessing it's probably 60, 69 degrees where this was sitting at, and it starts to turn into a solid, because under 70 it's going to freeze. But basically all I want to do with this is put it in a plastic baggie, just in case if for some reason this breaks open. Obviously I wouldn't want this spilling over the gecko or on the cup. All right guys, so I know it's a mess. Over here just got a lot of things I'm trying to work with all at once, and I gotta be somewhere soon. But anyways, so I have the deli cup. I'm gonna put a little paper towel in there, wet it down. Other thing I have is the top part of the styrofoam with the red line facing out, taped down on both sides, so that way you can shake it and it's not gonna it's gonna hold it in place. And then I also have the Cryo Pack in a plastic bag. So first things first, you gotta get your gecko that you're going to ship out, say goodbye to it, and then put it in the deli cup. Just be gentle with them, because this is obviously a stressful experience. And then also be very careful for their tail and their fingers. You don't want to get them caught in the lid when you're closing it. Just for good measure, I'm going to put a piece of tape over the deli cup. That way I know for sure the lid is not going to pop off. I'm going to take my box. I'm going to throw her in there. I'm going to take another piece of insulation, put it in there. Put my Cryo Pack on top there, pack it down tight. And then if you want to throw anything else in, do that. I always have a little card, and I started something with this plastic part right here, but I'm still working on it. That's why I don't want to reveal it. It's still trial and error. But anyways, yeah, so put this stuff in there. All right, now that we have the lid on, I'm gonna take one strip. Put it over there, that way. So all I'm gonna do is just put the label on. I just have it flipped over this way to hide the person's information. But I'm gonna tape it, since this piece is going this way, I'm gonna tape it this way. And then guess what, guys? You're done. All you gotta do is make sure to drop it off at your FedEx location or UPS or whatever you're shipping through, and track it, and just make sure you're on top of that and making sure that you know, you're making sure the whole shipment and everything is going well. Well, guys, thanks for watching. I hope that could bring you some value, because I know it can be very nerve-wracking, and you know, there's a lot of uncertainty when it comes to shipping your first reptile. So I know, you know, it's always good to have some reassurance and know that what you're doing is going to be safe and the animal's going to be okay. Obviously, there are certain risks to shipping. You know, a lot of it is going to be out of your control. So all you need to focus on is everything that is in your control and what you can do to make sure that you're providing the best experience for that animal. But I appreciate you guys supporting and following along. And as always, give me a follow on Instagram at Red Rack. That's where I'm most active. I also have Facebook, and I'm updating my website as well to make it look a little bit neater, in my opinion. So you can check that out. Everything will be in the description. But again, you know, if you ever have questions or anything, feel free to shoot me a message. I always reply back at some point. So thanks again for watching, and I appreciate it, and I'll be doing another Gecko unboxing in the next video.